Hey you guys, what's up? My name is Sydney. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I'm glad you guys joined me for this video. This video is going to be a little bit different than my typical content. Today, I'm going to be talking about my experience with antidepressants and weight gain. This video is going to be more so focused around the side effects of my antidepressants, namely weight gain, and less about my story with anxiety and depression, mostly anxiety. I'm going to save that for a different video, the whole history of my anxiety, because that deserves a video in itself. It's a long history. My medicine is primarily for anxiety, but in the SSRI class, they typically work for both depression and anxiety. But anyways, the reason I'm going to be talking about this is because nothing else, maybe it can help someone if either it could give you the push you need to get help and know that you're not alone, because I don't think that there should be a stigma around mental health. I'm a big proponent of being open with struggles that we may go through, and honestly I feel like talking about it is the best way to get rid of the stigma. And then two, if you're considering going on medication, I think I've had an experience with 4 pills. I think I'm going to be talking mostly about 3 different ones, and maybe you can learn from my experience. But with that being said, I do need to disclaim that everyone's body is different. Everyone reacts differently to medicine, so just because I have a certain situation with certain medication does not mean you will have the same responses that I did. And also, I don't think that medicine is for everyone. Definitely go talk to a doctor and decide what treatment you think is best for you. It's just the route that has worked best for me. I don't always think weight gain is a bad thing. I think a lot of times weight gain is necessary, and it kind of was for me. So I don't want my weight gain story to have a negative connotation to it. And I am going to be talking about like my specific weight. So if you weigh the same amount as me, I'm not trying to say anything about your body. I'm just talking about my experience with the medication I've taken and the weight gain that I've experienced, and honestly just what I've learned, because it's been, I'm gonna be going through like 4-ish years. So buckle up. We're gonna be talking about a lot in this video. I do want to start talking about this stuff more on my channel, so if you like it, please make sure to let me know in the comments below, and let me know if you want to see more content like this, and I will happily do that for you. Let's get in with the video. I have taken a bunch of screenshots of pictures over the last 4 years just to give you guys an image of like the time in my life that I'm talking about, so I'll have pictures pop up on the screen throughout while I'm talking. I'm gonna start talking to you guys about the first medication I want to touch on, and that is Wellbutrin. I did take another medicine before Wellbutrin, but I didn't have any noticeable side effects from it. So I'm starting with Wellbutrin. I'm gonna start with March 2017-ish, because when I was looking through my pictures, that's when I really saw the differences in my weight. Basically, March 2017, I was on Wellbutrin, and I was really skinny. That was definitely a side effect of Wellbutrin. For me personally, I lost a crap ton of weight. I want to say when I started taking Wellbutrin, I was probably around 118, and by the time I got off of Wellbutrin, I was 105. And just for reference, I am 5'5". I'm pretty sure 105 is, I think it's slightly below average on the BMI scale, but needless to say, I was very skinny just for my body and my body type. At that point, I had little to no muscle, so you could definitely tell I was getting smaller and smaller on this medication. I remember one situation. I used to eat rice cakes with peanut butter and bananas on it every single day before class in college. And I remember when I was on Wellbutrin, there was a day I couldn't even eat like my favorite breakfast. I was physically gagging. I just could not eat it. I was like repulsed by food. I had no appetite whatsoever. Wellbutrin took my appetite from me, and I would try to force myself to eat, but food just, it's like my body rejected food. And also, on side note, Wellbutrin just did not work well for me. I do have mostly anxious tendencies with a bit of depression, I would say. The Wellbutrin really made me more anxious, honestly. So on top of me just losing a bunch of weight, I was also more anxious than I was before starting it. What really set it over the edge though, and got me to that 105 weight, was at the same time I was on Wellbutrin, I was going through a breakup. I was really sad. I kind of coped by not eating. So already I had no appetite, and then I was really really sad before my breakup, so I wasn't eating even more on top of that. So that's when I really got down to like 105. I just knew I needed to switch medicine. One, because I didn't feel good mentally, and two, I didn't want to be as skinny as I was. I really was struggling with the fact that I had no appetite, and I felt like I was just getting skinnier and skinnier, and there's nothing I could do about it. I want to say I switched around July. I'll put a picture up. This is like me in July 2017, right as I was switching my medication, I believe. And then the next medicine I switched to was Zoloft. I'm not a doctor. I don't know how these medications work. I know it's an SSRI, and I'm pretty sure Wellbutrin is something other than an SSRI. So Zoloft worked really, really well for me mentally. I felt better than I had in a long time. I was really anxious about school, but outside of that, I feel like my anxieties were lifting. I just feel like I was feeling a lot better mentally. So in that aspect, Zoloft worked really well for me. But nothing can be perfect. So with Zoloft, I actually had the opposite effect of Wellbutrin. I gained a bunch of weight on Zoloft. So I think I was on Zoloft from like July 2017 to March 2018. And within that time frame, I gained over 30 pounds. I think I gained 35 pounds. So I was around 140 when I was taking Zoloft, and I gained weight quick. I don't know what it is. I think a lot of it is Zoloft really ramps up your appetite, so it has the opposite effect. And I feel like in my mind, I was like, well, I need to gain weight anyways because I'm so underweight. So in my mind, I was like justifying eating a lot with the fact that I was underweight. And also this time period in my life is when I discovered Starbucks. So I was getting like venti coffee frappuccinos every day. That didn't help. It was really the perfect storm. I gained 35 pounds in a couple months. And also in this time period of my life, I started working out religiously, I want to say in January 2018. And when it was January 2018, that's when I probably weighed around 140 at that point. And I wanted to see progress in the gym. And at this point, I started eating as well as I could. January 2018, I was watching what I was eating. I was monitoring my calorie intake, and I was eating in a deficit, but I still could not lose weight. And it was just so frustrating to me that no matter what I did, no matter how many calories I burned in the gym, no matter how little food I ate, I couldn't lose weight. So it really became evident to me that Zoloft was prohibiting me from losing weight. So not only did it make me gain weight, but it also made it incredibly difficult to lose weight. And that was just so frustrating. I remember crying all the time because it's just the worst feeling to feel like you don't have control over your own body. I just want to talk about a few things I remember from my Zoloft days. In December 2017, we actually went dress shopping for my sister Courtney, and I vividly remember, and I have a picture of me of this to prove it. I was crying at dress fitting because I just felt so not confident in my body. I had never been that heavy before, and it was really weighing on me, and I just felt so ugly, honestly. And I hate to say that because if you're 140, I don't want you to feel bad about yourself. I'll be honest with you, I weigh 140 right now. So I just felt so bad about myself, and I remember that vividly, and I just didn't want to feel like that anymore. I wanted to have control over my own body, and that's why I needed to change medication. That is actually what prompted me to eventually switch off of Zoloft. I'll have a picture of myself in like March 2018. This is me at the end of my Zoloft journey. Like I said, I loved how I felt mentally, and almost talking about this out loud, it sounds like I had a really bad relationship with food. I really don't think that I did have a bad relationship with food. I just think I was working out more and eating less to try to compensate or overcompensate for the effect Zoloft was having on me. And it just wasn't a healthy lifestyle to be living. And I wanted to be able to get to a weight that I wanted to be sustainably without having to outdo myself. So once again, I switched medication. And all of this to say, if this video doesn't show you anything, just take from it that you can't just expect the first medication you take to be the magic pill, or any medication in that sense. Even if you find the perfect medicine for you, you still have to work on yourself. You're still gonna have moods and emotions and anxieties. So I just wanna put that out there. Medicine does not solve everything, one. And two, a lot of times there's trial and error because no doctor knows how medicine's gonna work for your personal body chemistry. So just keep that in mind. A lot of times there's trial and error, but hopefully at the end of it, it will be worth it. So this might have been a stupid decision, but the next medicine I switched to after Zoloft was Wellbutrin once again. Wellbutrin. So I switched to Wellbutrin in like March of 2018. Once again, I think my mindset when I was switching back to Wellbutrin, obviously with the guidance of a doctor, I'm not just like popping pills, getting shit off the street, but I was thinking like, okay, I know going into Wellbutrin what I'm up against. If I'm aware of that going into it, then I can purposefully eat more. So I thought since I knew I was not gonna have an appetite that I could like control that somehow, which that doesn't make any sense. And surprisingly, my weight loss was less the second time around, I think because I was being more mindful about what I was eating and I was forcing myself to eat a lot more. I did lose weight still. I think I went down to probably like 120 on Wellbutrin, 115, which was a healthy weight, but I definitely still did lose weight on Wellbutrin, which as you heard from my Zoloft story, I wasn't mad about. So on that aspect, Wellbutrin, if you like are aware of the weight loss that it can occur, you can stop it to an extent, provided that you're not gagging when you're eating your food, which I wasn't the second time around. But the reason Wellbutrin wasn't working for me the second time around is part of the reason it didn't work for me the first time around. I did not feel good mentally. Like, I don't know why I thought it was a good idea, or my doctor thought it was a good idea for me to go back on Wellbutrin. I think the second time I was on Wellbutrin, I really put the pieces together that this just did not work for me mentally because I still did not feel good. I felt more anxious than usual. I have a picture of myself crying, driving. I was obviously stopped. I was in traffic and there was an ambulance and I was just sobbing because I was so anxious about the ambulance and where the ambulance was going. And I would just cry about everything. Then there's a picture of me crying watching Bird Box. Bird Box is a great movie, by the way. I love it, but it made me so anxious just because I had anxiety, which was made even worse by Wellbutrin. So everything would make me anxious. Everything would make me cry. And at the time when I was taking these Snapchats of myself, I don't know why I was taking them. I don't think I put it together that it was the Wellbutrin at that moment. I have this weird thing. I like taking pictures of myself like every single day on Snapchat so I can look back and see where I was like this day 4 years ago, whatever. So I think I was just doing it for like memory's sake. But now looking back at it now, it's so evident that it was the medication just was not working for me. Once again, I changed medicine because it was not working for me. Wellbutrin just was not the answer. So I think I switched January or February of 2019 and I switched to the meds that I'm on now, which is Lexapro. So I've been on this medicine for over a year. The reason my doctor chose Lexapro for me is because I told her mentally I loved Zoloft. It worked really well for me, but I didn't like the weight gain side effect. And I wanted to be able to have control over that aspect of my body. So she thought that Lexapro would be a good fit because it isn't in the same family as Zoloft. And there's just like through different patients she's worked with, she's seen that it hasn't been as highly tied to weight gain as Zoloft is. So fingers crossed that Lexapro would have worked for me. I tried it out and luckily, I can tell you that Lexapro has been working for me since I've been on the last year. I have not gained weight other than when I've wanted to gain weight. So like last year, winter of 2019, I wanted to gain weight because I was bulking and I was able to gain weight. If I want to lose weight and I actually put effort into it, I can lose weight. And I feel really, really good mentally on Lexapro. Like I swear people who knew me when I was on Wellbutrin would not even recognize me now on Lexapro. Obviously, I still have anxiety. I still have emotion. I mean, I'm able to cry, all those things. I have normal human emotion, but my anxiety is not overhyped like it was on Wellbutrin. And I'm like a new person and it's amazing. I never knew that I could be this chill. It's crazy, but that goes to show like keep trying until you find the medicine or the therapy or whatever it is that works for you, because when you get to the finish line you're gonna be like, wow, it's so worth it. So definitely it was worth it. And once I switched from Wellbutrin to Lexapro, I was able to start gaining a little bit of weight. I finally started to see like muscle definition because at this point I'd been working out for at least a year. So I was finally starting to see like improvements in the gym, muscle definition. I was finally feeling better mentally. I had control of my weight. If I wanted to lose weight, I could lose weight. If I wanted to gain weight, I could gain weight. And I feel like I finally found a medicine that worked for me. I don't have many pictures of me currently because I didn't go like anywhere in 2020, but I do have a video of me squatting 180 last week. There you go, thank you. Before I started working out, I was a twig. I had no muscle definition. So I'm proud of where I've come. I can't say it's because of the medicine, but it's kind of tied to it since we are talking about weight gain and weight loss. Just finding the right medicine allowed me to see the results I wanted to see in the gym. So that's just another thing to note. Here's a picture of me when I was on Wellbutrin and me when I was on Lexapro. There's quite a difference. And I don't want this video to make you feel like weight is everything, because it's not by any means. Definitely what's most important is your mental health. But when it gets to a point that your weight is interfering with your mental health, maybe that's time when you need to make a decision what to do about it. I don't want this video to come off like weight's all that matters, because it's definitely not. I just know that weight gain and anti-anxiety or antidepressants is like a topic I feel like a lot of people going into the medicine world would want to know about. I just wanted to tell you guys about my experience throughout the last 4 years or so, and I hope that it can give you some insight and make you feel, one, less alone, or two, make you feel like if the medicine you're currently on isn't working for you, like there's hope for you. I hope you guys like this video. If you did, please make sure to like and subscribe and come back next Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You know where to find me. And I didn't even point out, but I have a new guest with us today. I don't know if you can tell. 1, Toby. 2, Hilbert. He lives on my face. There he is. There's Hilbert. He has been here for the last week and a half, and I've put off recording this video because he just wanted to be center stage and I wasn't here for it. Hi, I'm Sydney and Hilbert, and that's Toby. So also let me know if you guys like this video, if you want more content like that. Let me know in the comments below. Also, I'd be curious if you're comfortable, if you want to share about your experiences with medication or mental health in general in the comments. Feel free to do so and we can interact there. So I will see you guys next week. Peace out. Bye, haters. Peace.